beloved YouTube family, thank you and welcome back. We miss you guys. I haven't even talked to them in a whole week or something.
I know.
Stuff happens. We've been on the mend, recovering, trying to get back to some kind of normal, which is a little difficult right now, but...
Is there such a thing?
Well, anyway, thank you for joining us again. Once again, we really appreciate you coming back to our videos, liking and subscribing to our channel. It means a lot to us that you continue to watch the content that we're putting out and continue to be on this journey with us, because Lord, we need to know we're not alone sometimes too. Today, all the time.
Yeah.
Today we want to bring you some thoughts that have kind of taken place this past week. We want to kind of call it deep moments or deep thoughts and some honesty cafe moments. That's a term I kind of love to use. Just stuff about real life and what's going on and things that we're processing.
Yeah, and I think this week we're going to probably have mostly Lacey deep thoughts, but in fact entirely Lacey deep thoughts and honesty cafe, and then next week I'll do the same thing, just my deep thoughts and kind of processing things out loud with you guys that we've been going through. So there you go.
It should be interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for being here with us, and without further ado, deep thoughts.
Deep thoughts.
So, honesty cafe time. I am a blonde, naturally, always have been, and because of that, and we're just going to get really real on this show, right? So we're going to be honest about stuff that maybe we're not always honest about, but being honest, because my hair is blonde, and I am very fair-skinned usually, and have a tendency to flush very easily, which you may have noticed already. You cannot see my eyebrows unless I pencil them in, and I'm really self-conscious about it, like probably in a not healthy way, self-conscious about it, and super not proud of it, and nobody probably notices it as much as I do. So that being said, most of the time when you see me without makeup on, I look crazy, like crazy pants crazy. And if you see me with makeup on, you'll get one of maybe 3 versions of me. You'll get the good makeup day. My eyebrows are cooperating with me, and I'll look just fantastic because I've had a good makeup day. And there are days where I might have not had such a great makeup day. And on those days, what you'll probably see is a version of me that looks a little crazy. I'm a hypersensitive person, so when I see myself in the mirror, trust me, I've already realized that they're either too full, or they're too dark, or the arch is just a little off, or it's too much, and so I kind of look angry or witchy. And I don't think anybody else probably notices that but me. But in the case that you have noticed, like today, not a great eyebrow day. Honestly, they're a little thick, they're not even, and I don't know, they come off as a little bit judgmental to me, they're my own eyebrows, so it shouldn't bother me, but it does. And then like the third version of me that you'll see is like this, I've given up because I've had a bad makeup day, and I have tried really hard to fix it, and I can't seem to, and so I'll just like try to take the makeup off, but it might not have come off completely. Depending on what version of me you get during the day or on any given day, you'll probably get one of those 3 versions, but let's just be really honest. This is not normal. It's beautiful, maybe. I don't know, it doesn't look so bad now. Maybe some of it's worn off. I'm not sure. Anyway, this has been Honesty Cafe time with Lacey, who doesn't have normal eyebrows. Hey guys, Lacey Corbett back here with another Honesty Cafe moment. Today I'm going to get into something that's kind of personal, which I have a tendency to do. I'm a little bit of an oversharer, and if that's a bit much for you, I'm sorry, I can't really change that about me. But I'd rather be a glass house and let any of my struggles uplift other people and hopefully share my testimony, one kind of story at a time. And today's is about body image. And I don't know how many people out there know me very well or know my history, but being very honest with you, I have a history of having eating disorders, and that started fairly young in my life. In high school, I can remember having thoughts about it as early as middle school, but it really kind of came full swing in high school, and it has kind of lingered with me on and off my whole life. And early in my life, in high school, it looked like me being very, very skinny. I'm not exactly sure if that was because I was trying to control something and that was the one thing I could control, or if it was just me having an image of myself in my head, or body dysmorphia. If you don't know what that is, look it up. You don't see yourself the way everybody else sees you. But whatever it was, in high school, I had both anorexia at times and bulimia at times, and I'm not super proud of that, but that was my history. And when I went to college, I was very careful about what I ate. I was always on some kind of diet. I was always watching how many calories I was eating. I was a dancer and a cheerleader. I was very involved in physical kind of activities to keep myself very busy, and to probably to keep from getting to a place where I was lazy and wasn't getting the exercise that I needed to feel comfortable in my skin. And as I've kind of grown up and gotten to a place where I was a healthier version of me and had kids, I no longer felt like I could limit what I was eating, but I had a real disordered relationship with food, and sometimes continue to have a disordered relationship with food. Right now I'm actually overweight, fairly significantly overweight, and some of that is circumstantial. I've been mourning my mother dying. I've been dealing with a lot of stress. I have not been working out because I don't have the motivation or the energy. I'm kind of just exhausted mentally and physically. And I'm currently kind of re-examining my eating habits and all of my habits, and trying to come to a healthier place where I love myself well and I nourish myself well, including being healthy, eating healthy foods, and not necessarily just eating the things that bring me joy. And not having some good boundaries. I say that because there are probably a lot of people who are watching this who have dealt with or are currently dealing with some of these same issues. And I'm not going to pretend that there are things that I don't still struggle with. I do. I'm not happy in the skin that I'm in right now. I'm working at loving myself, but I'm uncomfortable because I feel overweight and I don't fit the clothes that I like, and the image that I want to look like in my head, I can't fit into in reality. And that's just where I am. So if you happen to be in that place, again, you're not alone. We are all dealing with it. I have 3 kids, and I'm trying as best as I can not to pass these kinds of body image issues down to my children. So I'm very honest with them about it. They know that I've had eating disorders. We've talked about, what a diet looks like and what healthy eating looks like. And I don't ever want them to feel like I don't love them for exactly who they are or what they look like. But I don't exactly know how not to pass these issues on to my children. If you're struggling with these things too, feel free to comment. Talk to us about it. We can be a community of people that encourage each other. We don't need to be a community that is enabling each other to make unhealthy decisions about our lives. That's not what I want this to be. And I realize that me putting my story out there probably is going to encourage some of the trollers and the body shamers to reach out and try to use the information I've just shared against me. And I can't change that. But I do know that if I reach one other person who's experienced this or is experiencing it, and it helps in any way, it's worth it. And so, anyway, I just want to leave you with that story. So, this has been Honesty Cafe Time with Lacey. Once again, oversharing. Have a great day. So today I've been thinking about a lot of things actually, but I've had a particular train of thought on my mind, and I thought I would share it with you just in case it hits home for you too. I don't know how much you know about my personal life recently, but a lot has happened and a lot has changed in the last 6 weeks for me and for my family. My mother died about a month ago, 4 weeks ago, of early onset Alzheimer's, and we were expecting her to pass, but it didn't make her passing any easier. I'd done a lot of anticipatory grieving, but was not prepared for what grieving after a person has died does to your brain, does to your energy, does to your body. In addition to that, about 2.5 weeks after my mother passed away, my father was admitted to an emergency room and then to a hospital and diagnosed with something called broken heart syndrome. And you can look it up. There's lots of information about it online, but in essence, he was in congestive heart failure, and we had no idea. And so I kind of experienced this weird trauma of having just lost my mother, and then very shortly after, almost losing my father. He's doing well now, so know that he's okay, and he's recovering. That's going to be a process, but he's okay right now. And then probably about a week after that, my van died suddenly in a parking lot when I was taking 2 of my children to their dentist appointment. And all of these things sound like kind of a sob story, and I'm not interested in gaining sympathy from people. I don't want to have this stupid dramatic life that I seem to have right now. But when it was happening, when I was actively having to call family members to come pick me and my children up and save us, and having to work out how we were going to finance getting our van towed from where it was to a whole nother area where our mechanic happens to be, the phrase that I kept saying out loud in my grief and in my overwhelm was, I just need something to be stable in my life. I need something to be normal. And I was expecting that my van was going to be the thing that was stable. And it wasn't, obviously. Things break, and it's not anybody's fault. It's life. Things happen. And they don't necessarily happen all at the same time, but sometimes it feels like they are because you're focusing on the negative stuff. And this morning I was talking to God about it, and he kept reminding me in quiet ways that whatever it is I'm expecting to be stable in my life, if it is not him and my dependence on him and my relationship with him, at some point or another it will always fail me. And I know that it's God saying that, because that's not what I want to hear right now. In the moment, I want to hear that, the world is failing me, and I'm right. Something should be stable. Maybe it's, my marriage can be stable, or maybe it's that diet that I've tried will be the thing that stabilizes me, or maybe it's, making better choices for my health, or my relationship with my family, or good friendships, or my money, anything else. Maybe I think those things will be the stable thing that helps carry me to a better season of life. And the truth is, they're not stable. They're circumstantial. And a lot of them are blessings, and I'm so grateful for them, but none of them are going to be able to be the stable foundation that I set my life on when the storms roll through. And so I kind of just wanted to share that with you. I don't know how deep it is. It's probably not that deep, but right now I'm right in the middle of it, so it feels deep. It feels like something that means a lot to me. And I figured if it means a lot to me, and I needed to hear it from God, maybe you needed to hear it too. So, anyway, keep him your foundation. Try not to let something else be the thing that you try to build your stability on. because everything else is eventually going to fail us. Anyway, have a great day. Deep thoughts from Lacey.
Okay.
Well, now you know a lot about me and everything that happens on the inside of my head. Thank you so much for allowing us to share some of our very private thoughts with you. It's been an encouragement for me to be able to open up and share some of that, and hoping that maybe encourages somebody else too. Make sure to join us next week for the getting to know of my dad. I'm sure we've got a lot of interesting processing happening in your life too.
A lot of cobwebs up there.
Whatever. I'm excited to get to know what God has been telling you, because we've kind of been keeping some of that to ourselves and just really thinking hard. So anyway, be sure to join us next week. Thank you for being with us this week, and we bless you and all that you do as you're becoming exactly what God intends you to be. Have a great week.
We'll see you.